Okay, so we are live on YouTube as well. And let us get back to the second part of the topic today, which is going to be about Tithi Pravesh. So welcome everybody, and on YouTube as well. Those of you who are there joining via the Zoom link were able to attend the Guru Mantras as well. So let us start with the topic today, which is an extension of what we actually did last time. And let us start the recording as well. Okay, so namaste everybody, and we are going to start the second part of the webinar, which is all about the application part, the Tithi Pravesh, right? If you remember, awesome. So I hope you all are able to see the screen and everything is perfect, and we can start without any complexities, and there are not going to be any questions being asked while I'm talking. In the end, I'll give you a little time to sort of ask the questions, but it's going to be short and sweet. You know, last time we discussed about the concept called as Tithi Pravesh. And those of you who are following me on LinkedIn must have seen a very interesting post, right? Those of you who are connected with me on Facebook or, whichever other platform will get an alert on 3rd of May. That, hey, it's Kaartik's birthday, do you want to wish him on birthday, so on and so forth. Right, it happens. And I will get my share of birthday wishes. I'm sure you also get every year. The point I'm trying to raise is my birthday is over. So what wishes I'll get on 3rd of May would be, the English birthday, so to say, right? But we all have got the concept very clear that, hey, listen, we were not born based on the day. We were born based on the Panchanga. Typically, if we look at the spiritual purpose, we are born because of a karma. And that highest karma is going to be denoted by the planet, which is gaining the highest degree in your chart, which is called as your Atma Karaka. Right? It is very clear by now. Most of you know that. So it's not rocket science. So if we are born because of a karma, the HR team of Brahma had to wait for a season for the reason to be ripened. What I mean to say is based on some software mechanics that they have. They must have decoded that, okay, Kaartik has got this advantage, he has done this good karma, oh, he has done this very bad karma, he has to be given a rebirth for that, but there is some good karma based on this, okay, he has to be born in probably, let's say, Gujarat, Somnath, he has to be born to this family, oh, at this age, he will meet his guru, oh, he has to have some good guru karma, so he has got Jupiter in Lagna, oh, but he has a problem in certain area, oh, we have to fix a Rahu over there, oh, we have to fix a Ketu over there. And then there will be a backward integration and they will come up with a date that, okay, fair enough, there is a Panchanga, which is Shukla Panchami and Ardra Nakshatra, when Surya is in Mesha and Chandra is in Gemini, that's when this soul has to be born for us to get a backward integration of the karmas that he has done and to reflect that into his horoscope. And that is why, and that is how a horoscope is born. I always jokingly say that, your horoscope is written by you. So technically you are the writer, you are the J.K. Rowling, or you are the Salim Javed, or you are, whichever writer you like. You are that writer of your script. Now, whether that happens to be a super hit film or a disaster is something that is predominantly based on your past life blessings also. And that is where we put so much of focus into Navamsha, Ninth Lord, Shashtiyamsha, so on and so forth. Right? But we are also doing karmas from the time we are born. Right? So where are those karmas going? Ultimately, it is being deposited somewhere, right? Let's say that's our bank account in Cayman Islands or some secret location. And out of that, every year we can see certain manifestation of the karma, which we call it as, the topic that we have, that is the Tithi Pravesh. What is Tithi? Tithi is basically nothing but the angle between the sun and the moon, the father and the mother. That's why if you remember, and if you check your notes of your last webinar we did, it is nothing. We are all born because of a union between the father and the mother. None of us are a Avtari Purush, right? Anybody has an illusion that they are born because of some spiritual powers and, you were directly born into the Bhuloka? No. We are all born because of the donation of Reta or sperm from our father. So that's why, we have a Pitri Rina. He decided to have a child. And mother decided that, okay, I am going to ensure that this pregnancy is going to be conceived and ultimately be delivered as well. And she didn't opt for an abortion, so to say. So Tithi Pravesh is that opportunity every year that we have to thank the stars in a way, to thank Mahadev, to thank whoever you believe in. You can be believing Islam, you can be believing Christianity, the mother is the same, right? But in a nutshell, our Tithi Pravesh or the Panchanga with which we are born, when it gets replicated exactly on that year, we call it as our Tithi Pravesh, right? So with this topic, we are going to study today the part 2, and which is going to be the application part of it. I'll just do a little bit of sort of recap, just couple of slides, so that people who couldn't attend the last webinar are like in sync with the topic. Okay. Now, I'm a very logical person. I always say, that's why I used, even in my logo, I use logical, applicable, ethical, So I like to give knowledge, or I like to sort of talk a very logical language. And I think that's the way to go forward for the Jyotishis of the world, right? So we are very clear that the 1st of January is not the new year. Okay. We are very clear. That's okay to sort of, it's a good thing for all the bars and events people to sort of have a great occasion on the 31st and, run the champagne or whatever it is. But the fact of the matter is it's okay. That's an English New Year, but it, frankly speaking, doesn't matter, right? We have also understood that, there's something called as Chaitra Shukla Pratipada chart, which is the new year of the world. So, even when it comes to the yearly predictions, we actually don't go by this January 1 predictions. You can check out my ebook if you haven't, but I have talked about that logic very clearly in terms of what is the new year for the world. Right? Because on that Tithi, Chaitra Shukla Pratipada, Brahma had created the world. So that Tithi or that Pralaya in Meena Rashi is the one that is the basis for the concept of the new year. But what is the concept of your new year? It can't be the same as the world. You are not created with the world, right? You are like in my case, I'm born on Shukla Panchami when Surya was in Mesha. Chandra was in Mithuna Rashi. I was born in Ardhra Nakshatra. So that is my Panchanga, which I will always look back to when I consider my Tithi Pravesh or when I consider as my birthday. Right? Now, what is Tithi Pravesh? Here I have given what probably I think what Google would say. Tithi Pravesh is the horoscope drawn from the birth moment which is the exact Tithi of the distance between the sun and the moon. So what we are saying is basically the sun and the moon distance is important. For example, if somebody has sun in Aries and moon in Gemini, right? So there is an angle, certain angle at which the sun and moon are, or the certain degree distance, or whatever, as a result of which there is an angle which is created. So that angle is very important when it is considered Tithi Pravesh. And that is what we call it predominantly as the concept of Tithi Pravesh, which is the angle, that same angle, that same percentage is the exact Tithi Pravesh of your day. That is when you are supposed to do the remedies. And here is one more important thing. The chart is drawn for this moment from the latitude, longitude of the birthplace, right? So let's say I'm born in Gujarat. Let's say I'm born in Somnath. And now let's say I'm in Dubai. So I'll still consider this location, India, Gujarat, whatever you call it, as my Tithi Pravesh location. Just because I've shifted doesn't mean my Tithi Pravesh has to be from Dubai. So the remedies that I do, the remedies that you would do, would be based on your birth location, what was the time of Tithi Pravesh there. And then, you can be anywhere. You can be in Dubai, you can be in Spain, you can be wherever you are. You have to just match that time to do the remedies so that the time when your Tithi Pravesh is happening, your remedies are on. It's a very, very beautiful and logical art. So this is very important. For example, somebody is born, let's say this is on Tritiya Tithi. And so overall, this is the Panchanga. Panchanga will tell you about the Vara, will tell you about the Tithi, Karana, Yoga, and Nakshatra. Right? So these 5 are the Panchanga. Right? Out of that, the Tithi of the bright half. What is the bright half? Shukla. Right? Dark half is Krishna Paksha. So Shukla Tritiya, this 22.11 becomes very important finally when the Tithi Pravesh happens. So all are clear as far as the fundamental basics are concerned. Now, important notes, this is very clear, we talked about it. The sun and the moon must be at the times the sign can change. Okay, we talked about last time about Ramanavami. Yeah, and if you see that, there was a little change, but that angle becomes extremely important. Okay, it is the best tool for short-term prediction. Years back, I had talked about Narendra Modi in 2011, in fact, where people used to not even consider Modi as a national leader. He was not even given the prime ministerial status, like as a candidate status, that he got it much later, But way back in 2011-12 is when I had said that, hey, this guy has a brilliant chart and it could be a 3-time prime minister. It's a very famous prediction. People in Dubai know I had given it in a very open forum. He'll be a 3-time prime minister and he will win all the time with majority. So at least 2 times he has already been a PM, and 2024. Let's see. I'm very hopeful. I'm very confident that he will pull it through. Let's see. Tajaka is another option, and this will cover at a later stage. Tithi is the relationship. See, we are all born because of a relationship, as I told. Why Tithi Pravesh? A lot of people might ask, right? Why not? There is something called as Nakshatra Pravesh also. We'll talk about it. Why not Vara Pravesh? So if I'm born on Monday, so every Monday there will be a Vara Pravesh. Maybe you can say that that particular day in which you are born is a very, very important day. And in a way, we can say that this Tithi Pravesh can happen on a monthly basis also. So if I am born on Shukla Panchami, so every month when there is Shukla Tithi, Shukla Paksha, and Panchami Tithi can be a Tithi Pravesh. But my yearly Tithi Pravesh would also depend because Surya will be in Aries, maybe. Right? But on other months, Surya will keep changing, right? To Taurus, Gemini. So every year there will be this Shukla Paksha and Panchami Tithi would come every month. But Surya in that same sign wouldn't happen every year, every month. Right? So that's why this is this yearly Tithi Pravesh is very powerful, because that is the time when the father and the mother is going to be in the exact contact which gave you the birth. So this is your opportunity to ensure to mend your all the relationships. And relationships is the route to the birth. We are all born because we messed up something. Don't be under the illusion that we are born because there is some higher purpose. We are in a way, in my engineering days, there was something called as etiquette. Means, you didn't pass a subject, but overall you did okay. So God allows you to go to another year, but you still have to repeat those subjects in which you have failed. And there were 2 or 3 subjects which were given. In my time, it was 3 subjects. I don't know now what is the status, but you generally get 3 subjects for etiquette. Even if you fail in 3 subjects, in that next 1 year, you have to clear up those 3 subjects. So human birth is almost like that. God says that, okay, fair enough. There's some good karmas. You will become a human birth. But listen, in this birth, ensure that you clear up the mess of your past life also. So this, in a way, is a great opportunity that we all have. Think calmly. Very few people have the opportunities to actually mend the ways or to change the track or to change their perception, change their thinking, change their roadmap, so to say, change their destination even. We are very lucky to be human beings, right? So let's not waste this opportunity. This is the perfect union of Shiva and Shakti, Shivalinga. So frankly speaking, the ultimate remedy for Tithi Pravesh, last time also I told you, is going to Shiva. And today I will give you some very, very powerful remedy, which many of you might not have even heard about. But it's a brilliant remedy. I always do it. I would recommend you all to do it as well. Tithi Pravesh has a direct impact on relationships because Tithi is ruling relationship, angle between sun and moon, father and mother. 12 degrees, 1 Tithi. This all I have done last time. So I'm not going to talk about it. So 360 degrees zodiac, there is something called a Shukla Paksha. Okay. From Pratipada to Purnima. And here it is Pratipada to Amavasya. Okay. So there are 30 Tithis and possibly 30 types of relationships. Interesting. So we are going to directly now dive into the Tithi Pravesh part of it. Okay, the application part of it. So I wanted to sort of focus a lot into the application part of it, if we might. Okay, so this is my chart. Okay, and since I promised in the other things, and there are a few people who had also asked, let me sort of use my chart. So I'm Mesha Lagna. I'm Aries Lagna. For those of you who understand South Indian, I'm Mesha Lagna. Now this is my birth chart. Okay, so I was born in the 3rd of May, but since I was born early morning, I have to put 4th of May 1976. Okay, for the software to give, because the software is made on Western ways. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm born on 3rd of May because the sunrise was after my birth time, So let us understand. I was born on a Panchami of the bright half, which is Shukla Panchami. All this Karana is Bhava Karana, and day lord was Chandra, so on and so forth. Ardra Nakshatra. All those things. You can see here. Okay. Now, so what we need to understand is a couple of things. Surya is in Mesha. The mother is in Gemini. Okay. Now, I've used this software called Devaguru. Devaguru software, if you want, you can use it. And in that, once you make your chart, there is an option where you can click on this new, and there is an option for Tithi Pravesh in it. Though there are many other softwares also give, but frankly speaking, J-Hora and all are giving some strange results. I don't know what's wrong with that. But either ways, this I found to be quite accurate as far as Tithi Pravesh is concerned. So I use multiple softwares for multiple things actually. So depending on the accuracy part of it. So when I put Tithi Pravesh on this thing, okay, it tells me that that the Tithi Pravesh is happening on 24th of April, a few days before. Okay. And the time is 3 p.m., 5 minutes, 28 seconds. Or 3:05 in the afternoon. Okay. So this is the time I want to note for my remedies for sure. Okay. Very, very important. So this date and this time has to be very, very important for me. And this has to be India time. So in Dubai, if I want to say, I would say around 1:30 p.m. because India is 1.5 hours ahead. Okay. So 1:30 p.m. in Dubai would be 3 p.m. in India. Okay. So around that time, I want to start my remedies. Whether I'm doing it, I'm outsourcing it, my team is doing for me, whatever it is. Now, how do you interpret it? Okay. Now, interpreting wise, we want to always see what is the ascendant. Ascendant is Leo. This ascendant, we have to take back to the Rashi chart and try and understand where is this ascendant fixing. Where is it in the Rashi chart from the Lagna of Rashi? That is important, very important. Whether it is in Kendra, whether it is in trines. Trines are Lakshmi Sthanas, right? So if the Tithi Pravesh Lagna is in the 5th house, then we can say that financially, this can be a very good year. Very good year it can be. We also, let me give you one more hint. Wherever the Tithi Pravesh Lagna falls, you want to check what are the Arudas falling. So let us understand, is there any Aruda which will fall? Where is my Aruda Lagna? Aruda Lagna should come here. Where is my A9? A9 should also form here, right? 9th Lord in the Lagna. So 1 to 5, 1 to 5. Those of you who knows Arudas will be able to. AL and A9, they're two very, very prosperous Arudas over here. And the Lord is already exalted. So we can say for safety that, hey, listen, this year overall can be financially very benefited, and there might be raise in my, I might become a little more well-known probably, I don't know. But there's something positive about Aruda that is happening, and there is something positive about the luck factor that is happening. So this we can see on the good side. Okay. However, I have also done something called as my Nakshatra Pravesh. Now, here I want to show you one thing. Over here, if you see Tithi Pravesh, you see Surya in Mesha and Moon is in Gemini. Where do I Surya? Surya is in Mesha, Moon is in Gemini. Okay. Sometimes this might not be exact, but because that's the angle which is to be considered. But over here, we see that the Nakshatra is Mrigashira, which is not my birth Nakshatra, because my birth Nakshatra is Ardra. So that is also something concept which is called as the Nakshatra Pravesh. This chart below, so this is the Tithi Pravesh chart. This is the Nakshatra Pravesh, NP I'm writing. Okay. Now this is happening on 25th, the very next day. at about 11:15 a.m. in the morning, India time. Huh? Over here, if we see, where is the nakshatra? Nakshatra is Ardra. So there are two remedies. See, mostly people talk about Tithi Pravesh. There are very less people who actually understand that, hey, listen, nakshatra is ultimately your health. Nakshatra is ultimately your health. And in the nakshatra Pravesh, we see it is mapping to the third house. Okay. Which means, that, it is same. Chandra Mangala I have got even in my Rashi chart, even in the transit, by something, it happens to be Chandra Mangala. Okay. However, we need to see that there are 3 malefics in the trines. So I have to be very careful as far as health is concerned. But because the giver of longevity is in Lagna, we can safely say that, okay, it won't be such a fatal year where it can be a issue of, jeene marne ka sawal ho, life and death sort of an issue. We can say that, hey, listen, the giver of longevity is in Lagna, which is well placed. So, again, the nakshatra lord is also in its own sign. Ardra is ruled by Rahu. It's also well placed in a way. However, there is malefics in the trines. So what I have to do is I have to look at the nakshatra pravesh and do some remedies on that day as well. Okay. So, I might actually like to do some Mrityunjaya mantras on this day and a Rudra Abhishek on this day. There is another powerful remedy which I'll talk about it as well. Are we clear? Now, I wanted to talk about Narendra Modi's chart. On the top is his birth chart. This is his Janma Rashi. Below is his Tithi Pravesh chart of 2023. Okay. Which is happening around 21st of September. In the morning. So all of you, if you are genuinely Modi supporters or want good health for him, you can do some remedies on this day. But do we see a problem in the Tithi Pravesh chart? We need to find out. So we'll do the same process. This, we take it back into the, this we take it back into the Rashi. It is coming to the 12th house. We right away see danger to his life and longevity. Right? And over there, we see already Surya in Maranakaraka Sthana. Surya in Maranakaraka Sthana for a politician is not a good placement to have. Okay. So this Tithi Pravesh, we can definitely say from the time September 2023, to the election till the time when his next Tithi Pravesh happens. Next Tithi Pravesh is Lagna is Leo. I checked that as well. But for sure, we can say that this Tithi Pravesh, there is a Surya in Maranakaraka Sthana. But when we look at that same Surya in Tithi Pravesh chart, it is in Lagna. 2 Agni planets in Lagna. Agni is the seat of power. So we can definitely say that, hey, listen, this person is not going away anywhere as far as elections are concerned. But there is a huge danger to the risk on 2 fronts. One is the Tithi Pravesh Lagna is going to the 12th house of Rashi. Generally, we look at 6, 8, 12 as a very, very dicey houses. 6th house is still full of enemies. 8th house is still little in terms of a transformation, etc. 12th house, certainly it can hit your longevity. And especially for a political leader to have a Surya in Maranakaraka on a Tithi Pravesh, which is associated with his 12th house, we surely want to be very careful. There is another important thing, the Varesh. Varesh is Jupiter, which is in the 8th house and part of Guru Chandala in Aries. And where is Aries? Aries is 7th house also, Marana Karaka. But he also has Ghatika Lagna over there. See, my worry is not about the elections, frankly speaking. There you have two fantastic Agni planets. There are also a lot of rumors where they say that, he might not complete the term and sort of let go. Well, Tithi Pravesh has got a yoga like that. 10th Lord is in the 12th house. So there is a possibility that, he might not be willing to complete the whole 5 years and might like to give the baton to somebody else. Or he might not be a contender in 2029. Let us put it that way. So this is something that you have to really, really take care. And remember, please don't take Scorpio Lagna for him. It won't work. It is Leo. It is Tula Lagna. Now, let us dive deep into the Vedic remedies. Okay. Apart from what I talked about last time, I'm giving you another Vedic remedy, which you should be doing every year, or you should be telling your Pandita or whoever is your astrologer to do it. An astrologer doing these remedies is also said to be as very, very good nimitta. A Jyotishi doing some Vedic remedies is a very good thing. Okay. Now, what do we need for this? First and foremost, the correct timing. What I mean by correct timing is that you need to have the right Tithi Pravesh chart. You need to know what is the right timing. And then you need to convert that timing. Let's say if you're not staying in your country of birth, you need to convert that time to your local location for the puja to start or the remedies to start. So that's where this correction is very much required. For the puja, you can select either a ghee lamp, you can select a sesame seed oil, and you can select a mustard oil. Mustard oil we use for Rahu. Sesame you use for Shani. And ghee generally you use for Jupiter, Jiva. So you can choose to use either of the 3 lamps. I generally, as a Jyotishi, I always like the ghee lamp, safest. Sometimes when the Tithi Pravesh is at odd hours and when Saturn is the one who is the most malefic, you can use sesame seed oil as well. Sometimes when Rahu is a problem, you can use mustard oil as well. This can be used even generally in your home, depending on the morning time or the evening time. Evening time, the 7th house, Vayu Grahas are stronger. You can use sesame seed or mustard oil. Now, the other thing that you require is Bhojapatra. Now, Bhojapatra, frankly speaking, is written in the Puranas, but in those times there was no paper per se, right? So that was their paper. So if you can find the Bhojapatra, fair enough. Else, take a white cloth or, I use a nice stationery paper. Those handmade papers, high quality ones is very good as well. You need a red ink, like what I'm using currently. You have to draw your horoscope on that paper or Bhojpatra or white cloth, whatever you use, and do it with red ink. And you have to use East Indian or a South Indian chart. You also need a sandal paste. Your horoscope has to be in East Indian or the South Indian. Why? Because it has a Bhupura in the center. This is called as Bhupura. where you can keep Ganesha, you can keep your Surya Yantra, in the center, or you can keep Shivalinga, whatever actually you want to do. But I have seen that generally keeping a Surya Yantra and a Ganesha on the top, or a Vishnu on the top, or Devi on the top, or whatever you want to do, works brilliant. Huh? Horoscopes always starts with Aries. So depending on, let's say you are Karka Lagna or Tula Lagna, whatever it is, the moment you use a East Indian chart, it will always start with Aries. And the remedies also start with Aries. I'll tell more about it in the next slide. But you will always start with Aries and go to Meena. Huh? And then you have to have a place to store the horoscope. For 1 year, you will keep the horoscope. Okay. So this is the important thing. So first you will make your horoscope, Tithi Pravesh horoscope. Okay. You will write all the things, write all the planets. Let's say Surya is here, Moon is here, whatever it is. Don't mention Lagna. Okay. Irrespective of, let's say, even Leo is Lagna, you don't need to mention Lagna. Okay. Just mention the planets over here. Okay. After that, what you have to do is, this is a little tricky slide, so I want you all to please listen to it carefully and make your notes as well. Okay. After that, what you will do is you will take your right hand ring finger. Huh? You will take your right hand ring finger and you will make a sandalwood paste. Ideally, the way I want you all to make the sandalwood is the traditional way. Don't use that powder sandalwood and all you get. You get those plate, you put little water and then you gasify, right? You churn the sandal and you get the real sandalwood. Use that sandalwood for the remedies. Okay. After that, take your right hand ring finger. Huh? You will take the thing and then on Aries, you will say, see, these are the bijas which are written. Huh? You just add the, like, im, im, om, em, om, ah. So in a way, so that is one round. Huh? After that, so again, I'll repeat it. Let me show it to you. Huh? So you will take up sandalwood and you will first put your finger, you will touch the finger on Aries. Huh? Huh? Just add a dot. Im, om, em, ah. Okay. So after that, you will say Amruta Varchase Swaha. And, you can, have a Ganesha, or, Ganesha is the best in the center, and you will touch in the center Bhupura. Even if Ganesha is not there, let's say if it is an only horoscope, you can just touch the Bhupura. Like that, you will do 12 times for all the 12 Rashis. Huh? You will do that 12 times. And after that, you will do this mantra 108 times. There is also Hamsa. So I repeat. Im, om, em, om, ah. Hamsa, Amruta Varchase Swaha. Im. Like that, you will do first 12 times within the horoscope. Right? And in the end, Hamsa, Amruta Varchase Swaha is when you will touch the center part of the horoscope, which is the Bhupura. this area. Huh? After it is done, you have to sit in a place and you will do the same mantra 108 times. Okay. Ideally, you can take little water also and offer, and in the end, you can drink the water if it is for yourself. Can you do it for somebody else? Can you do it, let's say, for your child or wife or husband, etc.? Yes, you can do it. You can keep the picture of them and then do it. But sometimes you might go wrong. So it is always better, to sort of tell a professional Pandit to do it. Or if you are confident, you should do it. No problem. I always believe that God is not going to punish you for anything. Even if you make mistake, you are a child, right? So this is something which you have to do. And then after doing this, whether you have made it in a cloth or a paper, etc., you have to keep this safely in front of, ideally your altar or your mandir or any safe place, you have to keep it. You can offer a little, even sindoor in the center, A lot of people, in fact, even do the swastika in the center. Depends. People do swastika, keep Ganesha, or people just do swastika and then, just do it with the sandalwood and then say Amrita Varchasya Swaha. Different ways of doing it. But this is a remedy which will work brilliantly for you. Now, ideally, what I do, I will tell you. That what I showed you, I always do. Generally, on my Tithi Pravesh, I always ensure that my Rudra Abhishek based on my Jyotirlinga has to start. So let's say my Tithi Pravesh was at 3 or 5 p.m. So roughly at 1:30 has to start. 1:30 p.m. in Dubai, which will be roughly 3 p.m. in India. This is IST. This is Dubai time. My Rudra Abhishek has to start. Maybe 15 minutes even earlier. The whole point is when this Tithi Pravesh is happening, the Rudra Abhishek should have started. Okay. Depending on my Jyotirling. Sometimes I can use the Dasha planet also. I can use the Dasha planet. Let's say I have entered, let's say Mercury Dasha. And let's say my Mercury is in Taurus. Taurus is associated with Somnath. So I can, for this year, do my remedies in Somnath also. If I go by the Jyotirlinga concept, I can do my remedies in Kashi also. Okay, so there are options. The other is my Nakshatra Pravesh. Nakshatra Pravesh was on the next day, 25th. Right? Nakshatra is Ardra. Ardra is ruled by Rahu. Rahu gets exalted in the Himalayas. So my Nakshatra Puja happens in the Himalayas. So that will be a different sort of a thing which is associated with Rahu, followed by Havana. But that will not be in Somnath, that will be in a different place. That is the plan for this year. I can keep shifting as well, or I can keep same place, or I can do at multiple places. That is also there. Yeah. So I hope you all have a clarity in terms of how the Tithi Pravesh works, the basic part of it, that there's a lot to it actually. Tithi Pravesh, you can actually go into the Varesh as well. You can go into the Dashas as well. There is a Dasha system called Tithi Ashtottari Dasha, which you can use to understand how the months will go, etc. But I teach that generally in my advanced courses, etc. But what I have taught you today is a very, very solid foundation, which will help you understand how to decipher the year at a very broad spectrum. Whenever the dashas are hitting the 8th house, 12th house, you really, really need to be very careful. 6th house, enemies, which is manageable, frankly speaking. But still, 8th house, 12th house, you definitely want to do some remedies, especially related to health, right? Also, ensure that you pick the Tithi Pravesh Lagna and map it to the Rashi. Where does it go? That is the stress, happiness, tension, transformation is what is going to be the keyword for that particular year. So those things are very important. And then the Amrita Varshase Swaha mantra, which I have talked about, is also something which is very important for you all to understand. So I hope you all have a great amount of clarity, and any questions are there. I will be keeping this particular video on YouTube for next 48 hours. So you can go to my YouTube channel as well in case you're not watching me on YouTube, and you can ask the questions there. I would surely answer them there as well. As a homework, what I want you all to do is understand two charts. I want you all to start working on Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Okay. Now, Donald Trump wants to run for a presidency next year, in the elections. And Joe Biden has also said that he wants to do it as well. Right. So both of their charts are available on the public domain and available as well. So let's, as a homework, start working on that and email me what you feel about it. Most of you know my email ID. Else go to my website and you will get my help desk number, email ID, everything. So work on that, and that would be a good way of learning. Immediately, don't just apply on your chart. You'll sort of mess it up a little. Sit back, look at the principles, write it down in a piece of paper, make fair notes, then take somebody else's chart. Okay, that's always the right way to learn. Take somebody else's chart, take 2-3 charts, and then probably try to look at your chart, look at your previous year's chart. How has that Tithi Pravesh impacted you? And then you will sort of get the knack of understanding how it works. Okay. So that is there. I'll take your leave for today. Thank you so much for your time. Namah Shivaya. Take care. Thank you so much.